Nick right now joining us, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. All right, I said top of the show is that, Kyrie Irving, I don't think is committed totally to basketball, and I don't think he's a great teammate. But the basketball culture has been like, all right, we'll still pay a bunch of money, and you're the guy. And so I'm not shocked this has evaporated. I feel terrible for Kevin Durant, who's a remarkable talent. But your thoughts on what's happening in Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, I don't know why everyone's walking on eggshells. I get why Steve Nash is, because Nash might one day again have to work with him. But I don't understand why, and maybe the dam broke this morning, why so few in the media had been willing to say what I think is pretty obvious. Listen, folks, I was 17 years old once, and I had a job at Foot Action. And I was supposed to go in, and I didn't because I went to a girls' high school soccer game because I thought this girl would date me. I no-showed, no-called. They called me and fired me the next day. I made $8.25 an hour. Kyrie Irving makes $420,000 a game, and Steve Nash hadn't heard from him. The hell are we talking about? Go to work. It's not, listen, trust me, if you are gravely haunted, disappointed, scared, all of the above and more by the insurrection at the United States Capitol, you and me both, man. But you got to go to work. And if you are doing something bigger than basketball, you are undercutting it by showing up on the gram at your sister's 30th birthday, maskless in a pandemic, and 15 minutes before tip, you're on with the Sex and the City lady at the Manhattan District Attorney race. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
And one last thing. Durant now is going to play tonight. I don't know what the Nets' medical plan was, but I don't think it was Durant to play back-to-backs and 5 games in 7 days before the Super Bowl. And now I feel like he has to because the Nets are not winning. I know they won last night, but they don't have the record they hoped they had, and Kyrie's not there.
Yeah.
So, again, go to work. Or at least call your boss and say why you're not coming to work. Yeah. I think that's pretty basic.
I didn't like Kevin Durant leaving the Warriors. I'm not jumping on the pile here. I said it a dozen times over the last year. Is if Patrick Mahomes would have said, I want out of here, there are literally several layers of protection. People would say, no. You're not going to do that. Kevin Durant. Did anybody go to Kevin Durant? Steph Curry may have limitations defensively. He may be the most selfless teammate, certainly more selfless than a Michael Jordan or other stars. I mean, I look at Kevin Durant leaving, and I'm like, Nick, was this an all-time bad decision?
Well, I think we got to see. If he wins a title with the Nets, then no. Then it is the ultimate crowning achievement of his career. If they get bounced in round 2 and trade Kyrie, and what I'm hearing is they are willing to trade anything and everything, including Kyrie, aside from Durant, of course, to get Harden. And now I think that would be pretty dynamic potentially. It also would be pretty explosive. And I do wonder if the new owner of the Nets, Joe Tsai, wants to risk repeating the same history Mikhail Prokhorov went through. Mikhail Prokhorov, right when he got there, now again, very different trade because of the age of players, but traded everything they had for KG and Pierce. They won 1 playoff series with them, and then they were stripped naked for 5 years, essentially, draft pick-wise.
Yeah.
You would be giving away all of your ability to improve the team moving forward to try to win a title right now. I get why KD did what he did. I understand, Colin, why he wanted to win a title outside of Golden State. I don't understand why, of all the guys he could have attached himself to, he picked Kyrie. He could have gone with Kawhi.
Yeah.
And then your Clippers pick wouldn't have looked so foolish. He could have gone with Kawhi with the Clippers.
Yeah, you're right.
And then that's a real championship contender. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Now, you have defended James Harden, but I think you've come around to my side a little in that I do think Houston built a really nice roster. Let's take the owner out of it. I think Mike D'Antoni's good for guards. I think Chris Paul, Dwight Howard 8 years ago, Clint Capella, P.J. Tucker. And it's always somebody else's fault. And now Harden's like, I did everything I did. I love the city. Fine. But isn't he culpable for some of this? It seems like, Nick,
of course,
they've bent over backwards for him for 6 years, 7 years.
And if he simply wanted a fresh start, it's like, man, my GM's gone. It's a new coach. I wish he would have given Steven Silas a chance. It's a new coach. Ownership has changed since I've been here, and that owner, I understand why a lot of people would have issues with him. That would be fine with me. There's a better way to go about it. James Harden, the first 3 games of the year, reminded everyone he's still one of the best players in the league, averaging 37 and 10. Then he took a night off, and then literally he took a night off. He was off. And then the last 5 games, he's figuratively taken a night off. He's at 20 points or less in 4 consecutive games. That hasn't happened since he was in Oklahoma City. And he's clearly, visibly, obviously out of shape.
Yeah.
So you got one of 2 options if you're Harden, like you're a Harden defender. Either he this quickly went past his prime and he's no longer a top 15 player in the league, or he's mailing it in, or he is actively not giving his best effort. I don't know what is the better option. I know what option I believe. I think it's the second option. And again, I don't think it's a way to conduct yourself. Like Anthony Davis demanded out of New Orleans after they had failed him for the better part of a decade. But when he played his hardest.
Yeah.
No one that's watched Harden thinks he's playing his hardest right now.
Yeah. Nick Wright joining us. So you need to be totally honest with me here. Cleveland Browns, best offensive line in football, getting no respect, being dissed by Sammy Watkins. Kansas City is rusty and musty. You're a little bit concerned this weekend with Baker and the Browns coming to town. A little concerned about how you played in December. Little?
Well, I'd have to check the calendar, but I know that we went to New Orleans and to Tampa near the end of the year, and we had double-digit leads in the fourth quarter of both those games. I know that, until the Steelers started losing games, the Chiefs were playing essentially perfect football. I know that you said Green Bay, outside of one half, had a flawless season, which I found very interesting because I looked and checked when you said it. It was like, oh, they were 13-3. So what were those crappy Chiefs? I was like, oh, they were 14-1 when Mahomes played. So what's that season? Colin, don't do this, man. Don't. I have been the biggest Baker and the Browns supporter. They are going to get annihilated on Sunday in Arrowhead. Ooh. Don't hitch your wagon to them going to Arrowhead against a rested, healthy Chiefs team. Don't do that. You're going to regret it. Just like, and oh my goodness, I know they won, but Joy Taylor you wouldn't have lost the bet, but you might not have survived the game because of a heart condition. When Josh Allen fumbled, that's what I was waiting for. All game long, he fumbles, it's right there, and then they pick it up. I still can't get over it. You'd have figuratively had to be covered in ketchup and mustard. Joy Taylor really did save you there, Colin, even though the bet was rescinded.
Well, I will say this, though. The playoffs aren't the same. I mean, Kansas City trailed a bunch. When you watch Buffalo's ability to lose at the line of scrimmage for 3.5 hours and win over probably the best 7 seed we'll ever see in the playoffs, little concern that Buffalo is going to win another playoff game and you're going to have a mustard bath.
I'm rooting for him. Listen, I'm in a weird spot because I'm rooting for them, but that would then make me lose the bet and I have to get covered in ketchup and mustard. I understand that. But I can recover from that. I really, really want the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I think Buffalo is a far easier opponent for the Chiefs than Baltimore. Baltimore scares me. And Baltimore, if they beat Buffalo and they're hot and they got 2 playoff wins, they came back from 10 down on Tennessee and then beat Josh Allen, that's a scary team. The Chiefs will annihilate Buffalo and Arrowhead the way they annihilated them in Buffalo. I'm not worried about that. But I am a little concerned that the ketchup and mustard could be coming my way. Joy didn't save me the way she saved you. Shows where her loyalties lie.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about the Bills beating the Chiefs. They could beat Baltimore. I don't think they will beat the Chiefs. Come on, man. Come on, Colin. Don't do this.
This is Nick Wright.
No, that might be me. That might be me.
So tragic.
That's true.
It's tragic if it happened to me.
Great.
It's not really.
Yeah, it is.
With Nick, it was
going to be tragic.
It's just bad judgment. It's tragic if it happens to me.
I may or may not have heard from the executives a good old thank you for saving you from that. May or may not.
Nick Wright.
I feel like I should get a raise. See you guys.
See you later. All right. And you do deserve a raise. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.